Hey there. I am here because it's the new moon in Cancer. Jupiter's in Cancer. It's the new era. It's my book launch for the New Era Millionaire. And we are going to do an activation because the energies are next level. So I'm just checking, make sure I'm live. So I am Kim Woods, and I align leaders with the timing, the strategy, and the intuitive intelligence that they need to move industries, shape legacies, and create meaningful, lasting impact. And so, what we want to do today is we want to make sure that you are aligned with your own energy. We want to make sure that you are aligned with your soul mission and your pathway to wealth and success. And so, we're going to have an awesome time. I pulled a card. You can't make this stuff up. So I pulled a card when I was writing the book. The book is coming together and we're doing the things and I'm working with people and all the stuff, right? And I pulled a card probably towards the beginning of that process. And I got the 25, the brilliant card. What happened today when I pulled a card and I said, okay, let's see how the energy is going to go. If anybody knows me, they know technology doesn't work all the time for me. So I was like, "Nyeh," right? And I got this card. Once again, the brilliant card. So what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you, unless you're driving, I'm going to ask you to take a soft gaze or close your eyes a little bit and let's ground. I want to feel your feet. I want you to take a breath or two. And I want you to ground your energy because the energy right now is an uplift, which thankfully it feels really good because it's an uplift, but it's going to start moving and it's going to start moving really fast. So we want to make sure we're grounded. So I want to make sure that you're like, let's wear that word brilliant, right? Like let's feel the word brilliant in our feet. Let's feel it in our jawline. Let's kind of roll around with it and say, what does it mean for me to be brilliant? Because that's what we're all here to do. We're here to make the impact that we're meant to make. We're here to create the wealth we're meant to create. We're here to really step into our power and really align with our purpose and to be living our soul mission. That's the deal, right? Like that's what we're here for. And so on this new moon, the moon happened to have met with the sun at 6:30 this morning Eastern time, but we're still in that beautiful manifestation energy and it's going to start building over the next few days. Yesterday was next level. Yesterday, Jupiter kissed the sun. And so that was, it's called a Kazami. And so that was like starting a new cycle for that. And so that is so filled with wealth and an anchoring energy for what is like we're rooted into because that's Cancer. And Cancer is about finance. Cancer is about success. And so whoop de whoop, Jupiter loves it there. And so we're in for some goodness because even though Jupiter was just in Gemini, Gemini's cool. Gemini's brilliant ideas and solutions and things. Jupiter doesn't love being there. Jupiter loves being in Cancer. So when I was putting my book together with Amy Collette, who helps you unleash your inner author, and she's amazing, when I was doing the book, we started and then I kind of had to stop and then we started again. And then I realized I looked at the astrology because that's what I do. And I realized, like, oh, today, like June 25th, like I was like, oh, today is the day. And so we literally backed into the date. So today is the day. And so it is because we have such great energy. Like I've been literally telling people this week, like, if you even want to buy a lottery ticket, go for it. Like, and I never say that. So this energy is luscious. It is preparing you to be fully you. And doesn't that feel good? Because I am going to take a step back. I am going to take a step back a little bit and just talk about where we are right now. And I'm going to talk about like, oh, where we are right now. Like seriously, right? Sorry, I don't really want to get out of the really good energy. I don't really want to, but I need to because that's my job. So we're in a like kind of a breakdown energy. It feels like everything is different, nothing's really working, it's super noisy, it's hard to get people's attention. So many people have said, I've invested in other things, I can't afford to invest in you, or I'm tired, I've met so much resistance, it just feels like a big, like we're on the struggle bus, right? And some people get flow, but the flow isn't really consistent. And why is this? Well, this is a breakdown. This is like a total collapse. Some people are calling it the extinction bubble, whatever the terminology is. I'm talking about it being the new era, and the new era has been here for 5 years, and we're reaching this first like energetic. It feels like a challenge or confrontation, but it's actually stepping into itself in ways that are real, which right? So last 3 years, we kind of kicked the can down the road and all the things. Can't do that anymore. It's like, let's go. I will tell you starting today, right here, right here, today, we are starting to like I've been saying this to my clients, like vroom, vroom, like we're the G-force. It is going to be moving. Things are going to get momentum. And that feels really good for those of us who've been frustrated with not having momentum, but it is going to be a lot, which is why grounding and really wearing your own brilliance and carving your own path is critical. I don't even like using the word critical, but it's critical. Why? Because as you're moving super fast, if you're off like 1 or 2 degrees and you move super fast, you're like crap. Because now it's like 10 minutes and you're like this far apart versus like 10 minutes you're like this far apart. That's the deal. So we want to be truly aligned. This is the whole reason for my work. Like this is my jam. So when we talk about the breakdown, we are in the point, I said it, like it's not familiar. It feels uncomfortable. Like our minds are running amok because our minds don't like growth. Our minds don't like discomfort. Our minds don't like things that are unfamiliar. So our minds running amok, great. And why is that also a key? That's a key because it's time for our heart. It's time for our soul. It's time for our deep wisdom, our instinct. That is what is meant to lead. And I have so many people that come up to me, whether they found me through my podcast or one of my other books or my oracle cards or these lives that I do or these, I'm online like a lot of people are, right? Or I go to a networking event. The question I get most often is, how do I make sure that I'm following? And they say my intuition. And I say you. And so that's the whole reason why I wrote this book. It is a remembrance of who you are. Because as we're in this breakdown time, it's coming to an end. It's coming to an end, and our mind immediately goes, oh, then that means everything's going to be super cool, and I'm going to be in the flow, and everything's going to be awesome sauce, and I don't have to, worry about anything. And nah, this isn't that. This is all the things are going to continue to collapse and shift and change. You can't go from an old era to a new era without anything changing. The key is for you to be so clear. This is what I do. You want to be like that. You don't want to be like shifting. You don't want to be like, oh my God, who's doing this? Who's doing that? It's so easy to do. You want to be, it's the other thing I do. So, what comes after the breakdown? Obviously, it's the breakthrough. This is the new era where we've been wearing our energies inside out for millennia. And so this is why it's like not even out there or like with AI or with new solutions that are coming up or with new technologies and all the things. It's the fact that, oh yeah, that's happening, but I don't even know what I'm wearing right now. I have a coat on that doesn't really fit. It's not my style. I don't even know where it buttons. And all of a sudden, that's the coat I'm wearing. How do I wear this coat? That's the key. That's really the key because as you're breaking through, you're like, oh, I have a new coat. Okay, that's kind of cool. Now what am I going to use? Like what tools are out there? What solutions do I have? What ways can I make sure that, oh wait, it is my coat. I chose it. I think it's super stylish and awesome. It fits with everything in my closet, or I need to get all new clothes, right? But you're making choice. You're in the driver's seat. And so we go through a whole process of discovery for that. And you're thinking, yeah, but you know what? I've done my Enneagram. I know my disc. I know my Myers-Briggs. Like I use ChatGPT. I can throw my human design in there and all the things. And literally, I'm going to look at you and be like, so what? Because that's mildly interesting. If your mind has some awareness about some things that are based on your character or based on, how you do make decisions or do things like that, that's really good. Are you fully embodied? I always say that to my clients. Are you wearing it? Is it in your jawline? Does it fit? Is that coat? Like you're like, oh great, my Enneagram, this is like this sleeve is red. My disc, this sleeve is blue. You're wearing Joseph's Technicolor Dream Coat and you're like, I feel pretty good. Doesn't fit. You don't really know what style it is. You don't really know how to do it. So the discovery is really important. Now, what I use for discovery is you. That's what I use. That's so I have a quiz that you can take. And for all of you who have taken the quiz, I haven't changed it. I haven't changed the quiz. Quiz has not changed. So for all of you that are taking the quiz, you know what I'm going to say. Go to your starmaptosuccess.com and take the quiz, right? Because why am I doing that? Why is it so important? Because you're too important. How do you enter the world? How do you respond or react to situations? How are you managing and dealing with this discomfort? And how are you? What's the question I get most often? How am I knowing I'm following my own intuition? And I would say you're knowing you. And so that's really important. So discovering that piece of yourself. And then looking at, because of all the things that are uncertain, because of the trends are so fast and it's really hard to keep up. This is what I know as an economist, as a business industry analyst, as someone who's been in business for 30 years. I know that the stars or astrology is what leads you. And I can name, like Google and Amazon and Fast Company and Goldman Sachs and Coca-Cola and so many more companies are using it. It is going to be, it being astrology, is going to be as mainstream as yoga and massage has become. And so for you, you visionary rebels, you visionary leaders, the ones that are following me, the ones that are here right now, you are on the leading edge. And that is beautiful because you can take a breath because you will know what's coming. I'm going to talk about that in a few moments. And you can say, okay, I've got some certainty. I know how to deal with things in certain timing. So for those of you who were following me last year, and I had said to you last August when I said at the beginning of November until the end of April, you're not going to be able to make a lot of movement. You're not going to have forward motion. I talked to you about that at the top of the year, right? So you were able to plan your calendar. For those of you who didn't know that, it was super frustrating for you in Q1, most likely, unless you went back and revamped something, unless you rediscovered, unless you worked with client rosters that you just, had and kind of revamped. So this is what the difference is. The difference is between like you pounding your head against the wall and being super frustrated, or you knowing, oh my goodness, this is the best timing. This is when I'm going to do it. So that's the other piece of it. And then I mentioned before very briefly that I've got, 25 years of C-suite experience, and I just went through an exercise and I kind of was like, and I'm not even going to get the number right. So I had been having oversight over $255 billion worth of client work. I didn't know that. And in the boardroom, it's over $1 billion. So when I say I've done business, I'm not talking about I was, doing things in the back office or doing things behind the scenes. This is high level stuff. So I bring those strategies to you because that's what's really important. So as you're going through that discovery, you're discovering more about you, how to tap into your energy, how to wear your energy the right way for the new era, how to do the things that are meaningful for you. And then we go through the rebuild. And that's when you go through, do I have the right, am I going in the right direction? Remember, not this, but this. Am I in the right rooms? Am I attracting the right people? And am I investing in the right resources? And this is my sticking point because how many times do you hear, and I know I can say it, pick me, I've spent over $2 million in the last handful of years on client acquisition. right? So PR, marketing, systems, things like that. That's a lot of money. And I'll be honest with you, I don't have a material leg up on other people that haven't had that level of investment. This is why, like, utilize the right resources in the right way, in the right order, and in the right timing. Oh, and so you all can learn based on my spend, right? So I'd rather have so many people learn than just having me learn, right? So this is the thing because once you get through the rebuild, then you're in the radiance, then you're in that prosperity flow, then you're in that motion of, okay, you know what, I am operating the way my body wants me to, the way my mind can handle it, the way my soul is instructing. And it might not look like anybody else's, but it works for me. And because it works for me, I am in that equation of having that satisfaction and fulfillment, being passionate, being inspired, and being in the flow so you can have some freedom and some joy and some ease. And so, as I'm talking about all those things, I'm just laying the groundwork because what I want to do right now is I want to go into the stars a little bit. I want to talk about today a little bit more. Then I want to talk about the next 2 quarters. We're 1 week away from when walking into Q3, right? So here we are. We just had the solstice a few days ago, and here in the northern hemisphere, that's the longest day of the year. In the southern hemisphere, it's the shortest day of the year, but it's in Cancer. So Cancer is a very lush energy. It's very powerful. She's ruled by the moon. She's in that feminine expression. And because we've spent so much time being in the masculine expression, not good or bad, by the way, just more familiar. We do want to have some more space and some more attention and some more garnering and harnessing of the feminine. And so Cancer helps us so much. I mean, literally, the new moon is in her own sign today. Why am I doing this today? Because of that. And we've got Jupiter right next door. Like literally Jupiter is at 3 degrees, the sun and the moon is at 4 degrees. So it's so close. Technically, yesterday was when they met. And so when I looked at this originally, I was like, okay, I'm going to do this on the 24th. Two reasons why I didn't. The moon was void all day, which means that she was super quiet. She reflects everything. She wasn't reflecting anything else. So if you wanted to resolve things or have things mitigate, if you had a really tough conversation to have, if you had negotiations that you just wanted to kind of like hang in abeyance, like think about it, like if you were calling the IRS to see what was happening on something that you owed, you would have done it during a void moon. You would not have done a launch during a void moon. That was like, and it was void for hours and hours and hours. You wouldn't have done that, especially when she was in her own sign, right? Especially when the sun was in her sign. So this is why today it was like, oh, I know the 25th, right? And from a numerological perspective, the day is a 4. The sun and the moon meeting together is a 4. Mars is at a 4. Like so what is a 4? Structure. A 4 is masculine. So it's structure, it's strategy, it's like the equations, it's that linear focus, it's that precision. It's really, really powerful. And we have the sun and the moon in that feminine expression of Cancer. So this is where we have this beautiful, they aren't dueling, they're in harmony. I've got that gorgeous, luscious foundation of the masculine. I'm super familiar with it. I can make that the core of myself. Okay, that feminine is a little bit like, I don't want to say uncomfortable. I'm going to say unfamiliar, just a tiny bit. I'm starting to dance with it and work with it. I'm starting to get a little bit more familiar with it, but not so much. And the moon is like so sweet and so helpful. And she's like, don't worry, I got your back. I got your back. I got you for this whole season of Cancer, which we have another handful of weeks, right? So good. And then we've got Jupiter, who is this big gaseous Santa Claus. Like he's huge and he's like mammoth and he's the cheerleader. He's the guy that is like, don't worry. Oh, sure, the sun and the moon have you, but they're more fleeting than I am. I've got you all year. It's 1 year. Yay. And I can carry you. Don't worry about it. I got you. So if you're feeling a little down, if you're feeling a little, like you're like, oh my God, I don't know how something's going to work. Your mind's running amok. Jupiter's like, I got you. No problem. And today it's very highlighted. We also have ideas coming because we've got Mercury and Uranus and they love to work together. Think of Mercury as a little tiny baby cousin to Uranus. Well, I don't know if Mercury's get ticked at that, but that's the way they are. And they're exciting each other. And they're in their last degrees or so they're Uranus is going to move into Gemini in just a week and a half. And then you've got Mercury there, just like being like, oh, I'm going to excite you right now so that people can have that last breath of Taurus. What is Taurus? Finance, money. Think the bull, think the stock market, right? Ideas for money, which is great. What are we doing today? We're doing wealth today. Yes, there's reasons for this. And Mars is in a really complementary position. Let me just remind myself. So Mars is at that 4 degrees Virgo, which is super helpful for detail and is really exciting that sun and the moon and Jupiter to say, well, how do you make this real? Like, what do you need to put together? Like, that's great to be dreamy and, to be all feminine, intuitive and, accessing your wealth of, well of wisdom and all the things, but let's get real. And so Mars is like, oh, we can make it real. Taking notes, getting organized, getting detailed, doing your outreach lists, making sure you have your connections together, making sure your technology works, all those things. So good. So this is just a really, really luscious time. And so I like to do things at these times. My clients know that in my programs and all the things, because when we can take advantage of the cosmic power, then it makes things easier for us. And at most of a new moon is for manifestation. And so we're going to manifest today. And there's a stillness on the new moon day. So I am energetically, I've already done a lot of energetic work with anybody who's going to be here. That's what I do too, to make sure that it doesn't just hold in that abeyance. There's a stillness to the new moon day, but it's a great gathering time. Think of it as like dipping your toe into like a sea of potential, which is awesome. So where do we go from here? So when I was talking, it was probably like October, November last year when I was talking about 2025. And I was saying it was the breakthrough to you. And I was talking about being about connection. And I really said the front half of the year and the back half of the year are completely different. It's almost like 2 years in one. And so we got through that slog and that stifling energy and that really like high resistant energy, like through the first 4 months of the year. And then we had some kind of confusing, don't really know. I don't want to say whiplash because it wasn't that fast, but it was just kind of like I was walking here and I'm walking here and I don't really feel like I'm walking on this, like in the same body, walking on the same stair or on the same walkway. That started to come together just at the top of this month. And then it was almost like, yes, that's great. But then you kind of look around and you're like, is everybody caught up? Like, is everybody here now? Well, what I talk about, here we are at, June 25th, and then we're going to go into next week. And then we go to July 7th. And that's where I'm going like the vroom, vroom. That's where Uranus enters Gemini. Now, when anytime a big, huge planet changes signs, just talked about Jupiter, that's every year. Intimated Saturn, that's every 3 years. Didn't really talk about that. No, Neptune every 14 years. Like, I mean, if you follow me and you listen to my podcast, you know all this stuff. Uranus is every 7 years. So this is a big deal. We just had Pluto in November for every 20 years. So we had in a 9 month period, we had 5 planets moving signs. It's like Captain Chaos, honestly. And so, because of that, we want to be assured. We want to be comfortable. We want to be have already developed some patterns and routines that we knew how to work with those other planetary influences. I'm hopeful that if you're new to my world, that I'm hopeful for that for you. If not, we're gonna do an exercise in a few minutes after I talk about the cosmos a little bit more, that will help you get comfortable. And I've got playlists for you that we've been putting together in my podcast to help you. This book is the Bible for that. And here's the deal, guys. Like you can think like, oh, here she's gonna sell shit. It's 1999. I mean, like I'm not doing any other sale. This is not a sales exercise. This isn't that. This is if you want to buy the book, you want to have a complete roadmap, you want to actually be able to get to the new Era Millionaire status. It's 20 bucks. So we'll drop the link in. If you want to drop the link in now, you totally do that. But what's important is doing it now before that energy moves so fast so you can find some footing because this Q3 once we hit that again we have a week it's ignite and move there is this push this absolute like wait I thought we had a solution for what we were doing I'm going to make this up like with the water supply someplace I thought we had a solution with what we were going to do with I don't know why I'm in utilities right now but I am with the power grid or I thought we had a solution to what we were doing maybe like with buildings and roads. I don't know why I'm in this energy, you guys. I don't know why. So and then all of a sudden it shifts. And then it's like, oh wait, but this is even better. Oh wait, but this is even better. Oh wait, but this is even better. So there is a lot of goodness there. It's just a lot of change. And so for you, when you think of it and we bring it back to business or we bring it back to your, your teams or yourself and your family, it's really difficult to stay in your lane. And so that's why we're going to go into the signatures in a minute. That's why we're going to do a big activation ritual. So as we're going through Q3, so you know that that's July, August, September. There's a buoyancy there. We do have a Mercury retrograde from July 18th to August 8th. What does that mean? It means please don't sign any huge contracts unless you've dotted I's, crossed T's, buying big property, buying big companies. Try to scotch it like out of those 3 weeks. It will just make it easier for you. If you're communicating with people, just take a little bit more time on that because there's going to be some misfires there. Taking vacation, misfires on travel. Not terrible, but just misfires. We have another one of those blocks from November 9th to November 29th. So we've got two of those. Very typical. We have them every year. We have them every few months, as a matter of fact. However, we've got some big things happening as we go from Q3 to Q4. So Q3 is fast moving. It's like anything you have been holding off on, go ahead and start planting seeds. And the better time is like next week. Every time I start talking about this stuff, guys, I always get an, as you know, sorry about that, is like next week, which is kind of a holiday week here in America, so maybe not. Or it's to wait until the last week in August, first week in September. Skip. There's an eclipse from the 7th to the 21st in September. Skip that. You can do things, just not big, huge things. And then from September 21st until November 9th, really good block. Once you get beyond November, another really good block. So Q4 is actually like a breaking free. There is such support. There's healing with it though. So you might be confronted with things that you're like, that old gem, I thought I was finished with it. That's okay though, because it's super supportive so that you actually can, and I'm sorry for this, I'm moving energy. So you actually can heal it and get through it. And you can be like, okay, I am making forward progress. So if something comes up in Q4 and you think, oh, well, Kim said it was going to be awesome. I am saying that. But when things are coming up, you're like, okay, I have a solution to this. Now's the time to move through it. That's what I'm saying. And for business, it's really good. So when we're talking about the stars, I just laid out for timing for you for the rest of the year so you can kind of look at your plans and kind of move things around. There aren't a lot, which is really good. I got to tell you, before 2020, before some things in 2023 with finance, before some political angst in the summer of 2024. Like I had to deliver some really difficult messages. Before that 6 month block I was just telling you about, back half of, the Q4 of 2020, where my four through April of 2025. I don't like delivering those messages. I like delivering this message. This message is awesome sauce. I can say, yay, right? And even as we get into 2026, yay. But remember, if your trajectory was really meant to be here and you're now going like this and you go over here, you're not going to think it's going to be awesome sauce because now it's going to be like, crap, where am I? So I want to go into the signatures right now. So for those of you who know, I would love to, I'm going to go back to the chat. I do have people in my places where I'm streaming. But tell me what your signature is, right? I happen to be an intuitive visionary. When you go to your starmaptosuccess.com, there's 12 questions. I'm going to be talking for the next few minutes. I want you to take the quiz if you haven't taken the quiz. Now's the time. because all this movement and all these things and all this wondering and all this like my red sleeve of Enneagram and my blue sleeve of where was I? I think it was disc. Um, Not going to be helpful because when I do the signatures, I align them with the timing. I give you all the information. So if you're a wise strategist, you're more leaning towards that masculine side and it's more of a mental process. If you're like me, an intuitive visionary, it's more that feminine flow, but still with what am I thinking? What are my ideas? If you're a collaborative explorer, it's more that feminine of connection versus a ruling warrior, which is the masculine of pursuit. If you're a creative superstar, it's that feminine of that enchantment and being like the Pied Piper. And if you're loving alchemist, it's that powerhouse of deep value. This really matters. So again, it might be a little bit disruptive. If you're watching me on replay, then go ahead and pause me, right? That's super easy and take the quiz. If you're watching me right now, honestly, just it's 12 questions. It's pretty quick. It takes, we've already been a minute, takes 2 to 3 minutes to take it, and then come back and like pop in here what your signature is. Because once you know that, I have to say, in this book is 300 pages. Only like 30 of it is astrology. I'm really proud of myself for that. About 30 to 35 pages for each of the six signatures are just for you. We go through your grand vision, your cosmic destiny, your pathway for success in the future. I go through the feminine and masculine energy, and I go through stress and lack and exhaustion unwinding. There's tips for all of that. That feels really luscious. I go through how you are ensuring you're in the right, moving in the right direction and what tools are there for you to use for like decision making and marketing and sales and leadership and communication. And then the right, are you in the right rooms essentially? Are you attracting the right people? Talking about influence and collaboration and networking. Then I go through relying on your right resources. We're going through marketing and sales and finance. I mean, there are so many tips in this book. It is your roadmap. And why did I do this? I mean, because I got to tell you, writing a book is no joke. Any fellow authors, put your book in here. Like honestly, like let's celebrate authorship because you like birth a book. And it is a lot what's included, what's not included, what's the right way to say it, what will capture people, what will speak to them, what will be confusing versus not confusing. How are you going to capture their heart? I have 88 stories. I counted them. I figured I was shooting for like 60, and then I was like, nope, we need to lay another one in. Nope, nope, I want it. Well, this one would be really great to have like a little case study here or something. So it's totally identifiable. People just like you, leaders just like you. And so with that, it's super great because then you can have your heart involved in this. You can remember things because you're thinking about that landscaper who is a collaborative explorer and he has to put on his power pants every morning so that he could actually open up his company and he could, double his revenue, then double it again. And then he like 10x'd it at one point. So yes, awesome sauce. I'm kind of talking. I made it to 3 minutes, guys. So for those of you who've taken the quiz live here right now you know your signature. You don't have to, you're going to get some really awesome emails. I suggest you do get them. I'm only giving you more tips and they go right with the book. So it's kind of cool to be on this list. Um, but for everybody else, you don't know this yet. Wait, even if you've been following me for like 4 or 5 years, you still don't know this. I love doing this. Okay. If you are a wise strategist, I'm going to do it with movie characters, Guy, and this is in the book. So, wise strategist, just like Kathleen Kelly of You've Got Mail. Think about her. She was so incredibly knowledgeable. She was consistent. She was the expert. That is the epitome of a wise strategist. If you are an intuitive visionary, hello, fellow intuitive visionary, you are just like Elle from Legally Blonde. She knows a lot of stuff, but you don't really know she knows a lot of stuff until you need it. And then she all of a sudden has this brilliant idea for you. And then you're like, holy cow, she solved the case when no one else could solve the case. That's an intuitive visionary. They're brilliant, and yet people are kind of lost with what they're going through until it's revealed. Now, Collaborative explorer, just like Buddy from Elf. He traveled like from the North Pole to New York, no problem. Got everybody together, making sure that like, kind of a kumbaya a little bit, like making sure the group and people were really supported. This is the dreaminess of a collaborative explorer. For a ruling warrior, you're Hermione Granger from Harry Potter. She knows all the things. She works hard. She makes sure she gets the next test or the next goal or the next, next summit. She is charming and she's vulnerable, but she doesn't want to admit it, right? She's loyal. She's a great role model for people. That's a ruling warrior. Creative superstar, you're just like Cher from Clueless. Now I'm going back to the original movie, right? I don't know. There's shows and all the things now. I don't know what that is, but I'm dating myself. It's fine. So with Cher, think about it. Super captivating. Like people just like were enthralled with her. And she was kind of like, okay, right? I love that. I love that about creative superstars. And then for Loving Alchemist, you're going to love this. You're going to so love this. James Bond. James Bond, right? Powerhouse, a little bit mysterious, right? But always like talk about being so in command and having such authority, right? I would love for you to, I'm going to come back to the comments later, and I would love to know what you think about these movie characters. It took me a while to come up with them. Think about all the movies out there, right? And I was like, I wanted to wait till I had it exactly perfect because I want you to be able to get a little bit of familiarity in a different way with your signature. Because when I'm talking about that book and I'm talking about all the material that's in there, having like an overview of like, oh yeah, I'm like Hermione Granger. Okay, I get it. And you can picture it. That's what I wanted to do. Okay, we're gonna get into doing a ritual. I'm just checking the time. We're so good on time, guys. Okay, if you have any questions, pop them in. I will come back and answer. But right now, I want to talk about wealth. And I want to talk about it being lasting. So here's the deal. I love money. If you've been working with me, you know it. I adore money. Money is awesome, but money is fluid. Money's like air. Money comes in, it goes out, it does its job. It really is fluid and moving, and sometimes it moves too fast. Think about what I just talked about when I talked about the energies. And I'm doing this because I'm kind of doing this for the today and the rest of the year, right? It's going to move so fast. That's why I didn't do money today. And I thought like long and hard. I probably changed like 5 times what I was going to do today because I kept going to the energies and I wanted to be richer and I wanted it to be deeper and I wanted to be really impactful for you on this magical day, right? And so I was like, oh, everybody loves money and that's great. I was like, money's going to be like whoosh on this event. Honestly, it would have been like whoosh. And I was like, And then I went into prosperity. So prosperity is a little bit like water. It's a little bit like fire. It creates, it flows. Like if you think about either one of those things, fires can create or destroy, and or water. It can be a mist, it can be a fog, it can be really soft, or it can be a cyclone, a tsunami, a tidal wave. That's what prosperity is. Prosperity is the flow of things. So it has more viscousness, it has more stickiness for you, but it's still like with the way the energies are going to move. I was like, oh, I don't want to be on that destruction aspect of fire or on that like cyclonic energy of water. I want to be in wealth. Wealth is like terra firma. Wealth is what money was in the earthly energy before a few years ago. Now it's not. Now it's in the airy energy. So if people are like, yeah, but this used to work, and we can think about, even a process for sales or something that used to work, and it's like, there are practical reasons why they don't. It's a buyer's community. There's been an influx of people in the online space. There's AI, so there's a lot more copy. Video has gotten really easy to do. We can think about it. There's a logical reason for it. It's all prefaced by the stars, by the way. And so the money energy was already changing and shifting. And then you can think of crypto and all the things, and you could say, yeah, fair. I can have a scientific or like an evidentiary proofing of that. And all I'll say to you is like cosmic, it's energy. So think about wealth. There's terra firma there. There's the ability to grow there. There's the ability to leverage. There's that expansion, but it's not just like throwing yourself off of a cliff. There's a leap, but it's not a huge leap. So wealth it is. Here we are with the wealth creation. And I needed to talk about that. So when I'm doing this ritual, if you are driving, first of all, I shouldn't be watching this, but that's fine. Thank you for watching. Don't ever close your eyes. I have to say this on my podcast all the time. Now that we have that, set, if you are with other people, say like you have an office space and it's like a glass wall and you don't feel really comfortable, or if you're outside someplace, if you don't feel comfortable, you don't have to close your eyes. But if you are in a space that you can, I would ask that you do because it will be richer because I am speaking to your energy right now. Like literally, I can feel your energy, whether you're watching this live or whether you come back to it later. I've put so much intention in this. I did a meditation this morning for it. I did one at the top of the day, and and here we are right now. So for those of you who are here, I want you to think about that sun and that moon, and think about that Cancerian Jupiter like totally here to support you. So I'm going to slow down my speaking too. So I want you to bring yourself back to yourself. And really, as you close your eyes, or you have that soft gaze, take a notice of your breath. You have a beautiful inhale, that's your ability to receive. You have that exhale, that's the ability to release. You have that inhale, that's the ability to grow and build. You have that exhale, that's your ability to release and let go. And as you just get into your normal rhythm and cadence, there's no wrong way to do this. If you like to breathe into your belly, great. If you like to breathe into your lungs, great. Shallow breaths, deep breaths, no worries. If they're even, if they're not even, it's totally fine. The important thing is that your breath is as unique as you are, and that's what matters. So as you're breathing in, I do want you to bring your focus to your feet. We're starting with wealth, right? So we're bringing it to the feet. We're bringing it to the ground. That beautiful foundation. And I would like you to envision your favorite X, favorite car, favorite boat, favorite piece of jewelry, favorite vacation, favorite outfit, favorite pair of shoes, whatever. I'm in luxury, something that's luxurious that you just love, just cuz, or you wish for, just cuz. And I would like you to bring that energy in around your feet. So you can, if you want to sit in the car, if it's a car, you can. If it happens to be a pair of boots or shoes, that's great. If not, if you're like, well, I thought about a really great necklace. That's okay. Just have that energy of it at your feet too. Because I want you to have the most wide receiving container we can to start. So that's what I want to do now. I want to kind of go horizontally, right? So think about it. So for example, if you brought in some diamonds and some rubies and some emeralds and some jewels, let's have those sparkle all around your feet. If you brought a car in, or a boat in, or a home, or a vacation or something like that, have it surround you, and have yourself let your imprint be part of it, and give yourself permission to say yes. So beautiful, yes, right there. And then we're going to go up to your knees and your hips. And I want you to start thinking about some wishes and some dreams. I wish I had X number of clients. I wish I had Y days off. I wish I had Z amount in the bank. I wish I had ABC experiences or knew 1, 2, 3 people. These are wishes and dreams. I'm stirring it around your hips. We're going up into your solar plexus. We're going up into your heart space. That beautiful, I'm in that watery energy now, that fiery inspiration energy. We went from that right resources with all those sparkly jewels and all those things around your feet. Now we're in that right rooms, those right people, those right connections. Now I want to move up to your throat and your jawline and your forehead and your top of your head. And I want you to think about saying some things. I have $30 million. I am making the best offering for all of my clients. I am in the room with the right people. I am and whatever your title is. I adore my life. People have my best interests at heart. I have all the support I need and more. Opportunities come to me with ease. Life feels so luscious. I am abundant and wealthy and prosperous. I have money and investments. I am wealthy here in this new era. And for you, wise strategists, it's with calm resonance. You have the strength of conviction. For you, intuitive visionary, you're a genius with your intention. You gather your vision into your being so you wear it. You are the strength of brilliance. For you, collaborative explorer, you're connecting success. Those heart-based relationships help you negotiate prosperity in your life. You are the strength of collaboration. Ruling warrior, you are winning leadership. Your action-oriented focus helps you strive for the next goal. You are the strength of pursuit. Creative superstar, your enchanting impact. You have sacred adoration for creation. Your strength is in the sensorial discernment. And loving alchemist, you have powerful value. You have deep access to the well of wisdom, and your strength is in your intuitive gifts. So I want you to breathe that all in. That beautiful feminine essence, that gorgeous core masculine strength. For you are both. That wondrous ideation with those upper chakras of those thoughts and those ideas and those verbalizations and those sayings and those intentions down into that heartfelt connection to create that web of your people in your rooms with your offerings. And then finally, even lower, to have that footing and that foundation for that wide, beautiful receiving container for wealth. And you've planted your wishes and dreams in the physical to say yes, to open up your mind and your heart and your will. And you've now resonated a little bit with some core strength that you have that you may be conscious of or not, but you're welcoming into your imprint. And so here in this new era, to be able to wear the energy the way it's been intended, naturally, holistically, to be able to have the cosmos clearing your path to create calm and certainty for you so that you can relieve the stress. To have your signature for your energetic imprint and the way you make choice and how you enter situations. To be able to give you more energy and power so you can relieve exhaustion and resistance. And then for that beautiful right direction, right resources, right people, so that you are able to rid yourself of lack and step into the abundance that is your birthright. Here, now, new moon, Cancer with Jupiter. The stars are blessing you. Spend a moment receiving the wealth and the abundance from the cosmos. Fully in recognition of you. Let's let anything that doesn't belong, that feels too heavy, that's outdated, outmoded, just melt away. It just dissolves with ease and grace. And with that space, give yourself permission to let that spaciousness give you a little bit of freedom and joy and satisfaction. But if it feels too spacious, let's bring in your wishes and your dreams and your right connections and those ideas that help you clear your path. This is the new era, and it's time for you to lead in alignment with your soul mission. This is all about you. So as you've gone into that brilliance of who you are, understanding that breakdown, breakthrough, discovery, rebuilding, and radiant pathway, recognizing this ritual and giving great gratitude to your essence, your energy, your soul, you saying yes to yourself for being here right now, to the sun and the moon, those beautiful luminaries, to all the planets, focusing a little bit more on Jupiter. Jupiter was a star today. And Cancer. Cancer was a star today, too. Wishing health and abundance and freedom. And as you open your eyes and come back to the space, if you have closed them, I want you to rub your hands together, rub your feet, rub your arms, because you're imprinting it into your being. If you have water, go ahead, grab a drink. I've asked for this to be filled with ease and with grace and to be super gentle. So if you've wanted to have a huge revved up thing, you can do that. But I've asked for ease and grace and for it to be gentle. Doesn't make it less impactful, but that's my wish for you, is that it's filled with ease. And as you could hear, I have a book. I have a new book. I've been waiting for this book. It's been 4 years since I've written a book. Yeah, that's the longest I've gone in like a decade. So go ahead. We're going to drop the link in. You're going to want to get this book because this is your roadmap. Like literally, it's filled with such lusciousness for you because it puts you first and it helps you situate yourself in this new era that's very unfamiliar. And because you're a visionary leader or visionary rebel, as I like to say, you are on that leading edge. There aren't that many tool sets or roadmaps that you can put your fingers on, right? Go ahead. I would adore it if you bought the book. If you left me a review, that would be wonderful. Um, this is going to be available. I'm here on LinkedIn. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Facebook. It's going to live for as long as they let me store it, so you can come back to it again. And if you'd like to reach out, connect with me. Make sure that we stay connected. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being you. And happy, happy new moon. Happy new era. Happy new book. Until next time.